Hello, we are Sornia. We are here to walk hand in hand with you through your journey on third dimensional Earth as you progress into fifth dimensional Earth. We want to talk a little bit about that experience with you today. We also want to briefly touch on the significance of certain organs or parts of your body that are being, well, they're already activated, but they're being more activated, if you will. And in particular, we're talking about what you call your pineal gland. It's a very important gland that you have in your body. And it's the focus of this next phase of your evolution in human form. So yes, and it's tied into this next progression, the expansion, the unveiling, and the shedding of the limiting beliefs and perspectives and expectations that you have. The progress being made is absolutely incredible. You may be small in number or feel that you're small in number. We don't see that. We don't measure in quantity here, nor do you when you are not in human form. Let's talk about that a minute, because you may think, there are only me and my friend Joe down the street, or I'm all by myself, I don't know anyone, or that thinks like I do, and there are quite a few of you who are on this journey may feel that you are kind of isolated and alone and dealing with the loneliness. We've talked about that with you. But what we want to talk about really and stress here, you may think you are small in number physically, those that have taken on human form, that there are only a few of you, etc., etc. It doesn't matter the number at this point for what we're focusing on with this group that is listening to us in particular through this medium. Understand that. Yes, you want more people to awaken. You want more to understand. And they are, without a doubt. But what we're talking about is that anchoring of the Christ consciousness, the expansion, how you are tied in with all of that, with your physical and non-physical forms. You don't need a large number of individuals. What you need, and what has been provided through your service, all of you who hear this message, is you have provided the strength that you have as eternal beings in human form. Most of you are very strong in human form as well. You have weathered many storms, both physical, emotional, spiritual, and you are very confident of who you are and what your role is. Yeah, you fall off here and there and you question, but you are, we have said this, you are the foot soldiers, you are the ones paving the way, and it's happening. But more than anything, understand that you are all part of that grid of anchoring in to Mother Earth with Mother Earth's assistance. Remember, she is alive as well, and connecting, you are helping to make those connections solid and firm of the Christ consciousness into the planet, into your future experience. And those that can see, and that's where we're going to go into the understanding of the pineal gland briefly, those that can see the truth through your actions, your behaviors, your whole energy system. This is part of that shift that we are talking about that is coming your way. You are not to fear anything unless you want to stay in a lower density, in a stronger density. You want to know that this is all being created by you, that we're talking about that shift that's occurring here soon. It's already in the process of happening, that you hold to those truths that you know. And that's what others will see and feel and sense, because although we are working with you, we are also working with those that maybe are still on the fence, or those individuals who are kind of unaware but are destined from their own soul's journey and choice to be part of this, what you call this ascension, this expansion into a reality that is of a higher vibration. So know that this, if you feel once again that there are not many there, it doesn't need to be many that are anchoring in this consciousness, this Christ consciousness. The Christ consciousness was already there, but you're anchoring it in with greater strength and greater force. The super glue is what you're doing. You're really anchoring it in connection with where Mother Earth can then also connect with it in stronger ways than before. Christ consciousness was brought in at the time of the crucifixion of Christ, which we have spoken to you about. But just to make things clear, it's there, but you are anchoring it in greater depth through the different layers, meeting with Mother Earth, who is reaching out for that as well. So you're doing that, and then these individuals are able to think of yourselves as being like those antennas. They are attracted to that which they can find through you and what you are bringing in as conduits for that. So the numbers don't matter for those that are conduits for this beautiful, expansive energy that is anchored in greater depth and greater width in your reality. The frequency is higher than it has been at any other time. Your vibrations and that of the planet are higher than at any other time of its evolution. So you are doing that. That is your focus. And then those that maybe many have begun to question, and they have benefited from all of you who have continued to hold to what you know as being your truth, and shining that out, radiating that out in your everyday lives as best you can, given the assaults that you have from that density that you are in still connected to. So we are very hopeful that what feels almost certain, nothing is ever set in stone and certain until it actually happens, right? But you have been participating in creating with your thoughts, your feelings, your focus, your perceptions, your expectations, and your loving state on this reality of Earth that is not so dense. It is more loving, it's more expansive. And the first major shift is what we're talking about. You will be able to feel it. Those who maybe up until now have been questioning whether or not there's something really going on. This will be happening, and we'll have more to share with you as we see fit. Keep holding those images, the feelings of what it means to live in harmony with all other beings, to live in a peaceful state, in supportive state with your fellow man, with all of nature, what it means to be unconditionally loving and accepting. Continue to hold those compassionate views towards others. Continue to deepen your own personal understanding of who you are as an eternal being. Keep on doing it, because there's so much to discover. And the more that you are able to connect with that eternal nature, the more that you will be able to give out that energetic frequency for others to receive. So it's amazing what is going on. It's really an important time. We've said this to you, but keep moving forward and keep that faith, the faith that will help to anchor you when in times of trouble. You see, it's not about looking externally and having that be how you understand the nature of your existence. Okay, so when you look out and you see people troubled, and you're seeing more and more of that, difficulties, and you believe that that is somehow the truth, then you participate in creating more of that. Now, we've talked about that, but we are emphasizing this with you because this is the time that's very crucial in you looking at these experiences. And yes, should you have friends that fall ill or meet with troubles, it's hard, or family members, those that you love, it's hard to keep an emotional distance. But you must really try and ask for guidance. If you see these things happening to those that you care about, if you see them experiencing difficulties and you can do nothing about it, you want to hold that picture for them as well of being eternal beings and that they've got the answers also. And they understand and they can understand so that they have that conduit, they have that connection to the truth. Again, we don't know exactly how this is going to unfold, but we are pretty certain, we don't want to again say 100%, but we're pretty close to saying that you will experience the shift in an interesting way. So stay open and receptive. So that leads us into what we also want to talk about is your physical form and its own expansion, which has been ongoing. Just because we stopped talking about it doesn't mean it hasn't continued to expand. Your physical form, your non-physical forms, your spirit, your soul, all of that has continued to expand. You haven't been remaining stagnant. You've had to deal with over the last few months some times of really strong constrictions. You felt yourselves confined and restricted and held back, and then you felt things open up. So these have all been energetic cycles that have assisted you in, again, processing, transmuting, and understanding yourselves as eternal beings in this physical form, but also allowing the physical form to take on a higher vibration. You have to be in the physical form. It has to have life in it in order for it to expand. You take out life, which I mean the eternal essence of who you are. You take that out. There is no life. There's no way of that going through the physical form then decays, right? So you know that it's necessary for the physical form to match the vibration and frequency of its surroundings so that it feels comfortable. It needs to expand and to grow. And that's what's happening. One of the areas that we want to talk about with the pineal gland with you is that many of you feel or have been told that the pineal gland, well, first let's start with this, that the pineal gland is the inner eye. It is the seat of your inner knowing, the intuition. It is how you see and sense the other dimensional realities in physical form. It's connected to the heavens, if you will, to source. It is your connection, yes, through the heart, but through also the pineal gland. So that gland in your body being very small, but very powerful. Again, you don't need a big in order to have an impact, right? You can do things in a small number or in a smaller form. So what many of you have felt or have been told about your pineal gland is that it has been calcified due to environmental conditions. Okay, so this is really where we're wanting to go, and this is about your entire body. You do not need to fear. This is where we're leading you because you will need this. Remember that. Don't feel that what we're telling you is coming from somewhere way out there. Please stay open because you will need to understand that your ability to override or walk through or not be affected by any sort of environmental conditions really depends on you and your perspective. And that's why we wanted to talk about the pineal gland. Yes, for those that feel that their gland has not been activated, or that gland is calcified due to environmental toxins, that kind of thing. If you continue to believe that, then you develop calcification. Absolutely. Because this is a wonderful part of your body that you want to be functioning at its highest possible form, because it is such a strong connection for you. So if you believe that you can override any sort of environmental toxins, and you focus on, think of where you have the pineal gland located in your brain, and see it as being however you want to see it, but generate from your own energy system its own activation from your own soul to that physical form that you're carrying. It has a non-physical, a spiritual quality to it. Just like you have subtle bodies, so do all the organs of your body, all the parts of your body. They don't just have the solid finished form. They come from somewhere. And maybe you know where they come from, or maybe you don't, but they're coming from the world of spirit. Your physical form has been created in spirit first, and then it manifests into solid form, like everything. So going back to the pineal gland as being integral and part of what you are experiencing here in this next major shift of awakening that is happening, you must understand that your pineal gland is only calcified and non-functioning and not aligned and not activated if you believe that. So if you believe that, we would suggest that you work on that belief system. If you don't know what we're talking about because it's the first time you've heard about the pineal gland, go and study up about the pineal gland. But what you want to do is get quiet. First thing in the morning, wake up, take a few deep breaths, do your morning rituals, however you do it. And then from your own energy system within your body, send your own healing energy to the spot in your brain where the pineal gland resides, and see it as being functioning perfectly and brilliant and vibrant. See it as that, and that will be your truth. If you believe that it can be destroyed or not activated and any of those things, okay. But then you've made your journey harder. We have been leading you in this direction of what we call self-healing, but it's really not self-healing. It's about your belief system. Again, that we have been leading you here because you will need to be in alignment with that knowing, with that understanding that nothing can harm you if you don't let it. You can walk through fire. The man that you called Jesus, what did he do? He walked on water. He performed miracles. How? And there have been others, but this is the one that you are most familiar with. But there have been many others, many others. So how is that? Because they saw beyond the facade. We have been leading you there. Now you must do that work. And working with the pineal gland is the most beneficial at this time, because it is what is connected to that inner knowing and that what you call your third eye or intuition, and it will help you to feel its energies. If you on a daily basis send it your own healing energy, it will empower you, because you will understand how you are able to manage your own physical form. And you will also benefit from a stronger sense of your intuition being clearer for you. It'll be as clear as what you are now calling reality. Your intuition will take over, we're hoping, and that's part of this shift that we're talking about, where your intuition and telepathy and that kind of communication is more real to you than what you've been experiencing in the denser third dimensional reality. That's part of this whole ascension, this raising of the vibration. So you see everything. You may not see this, but we really hope that you do. Everything that you have been doing, that we have been guiding you through all of this, that you have been so wonderfully vigilant about and dedicated to, is working. Otherwise, you wouldn't be getting the messages that you are getting. These are messages that you are getting because you all have gotten yourselves to that place where you can understand it. Even if you're listening to this right now and saying, I don't know what they were just talking about, this seems pretty far-fetched, somewhere in you is the capability of understanding this, but we feel that most of you do understand it. It's just putting it to practice now. There's no way that you can manage this and understand it if you don't apply what we give you, and most of you do. So we're going to stress that. Take the time every day, and you could do it many times during the day. Find out what that pineal gland has in store for you. Find out what its energy field is, what its very energy is. Every organ of your body you can do this with, but we're focusing on the pineal gland because it has been so battered about and at times neglected and misunderstood. It's a powerful part of your entire existence and not to be overlooked. We hope this has helped you. We love you very much. We are very excited because we see that things are moving in a direction that will be a direction of freedom and liberation for as many as possible. And it's thanks to all of you and your dedication to yourselves and to those around you. Don't forget that you are as important as the rest of them. On that, we will step away, but we are always there to assist you whenever you need to. Thank you very much. We are Sornia. Goodbye.